Good morning from Pulling Park in Raleigh, North Carolina, adjacent to NC State. Well, I was thinking of biggest regrets, and I don't know. We all have several, don't we? Um, we say we don't, but we do. And I was thinking of one of them. Well, first of all, I remember I was accepted to Texas Tech University. That certainly was not a big regret. In between my acceptance to Texas Tech University and me leaving Jacksonville State University, I went to Berkeley. I went to Berkeley, California to do some missionary work. And I don't have any regret from that either. No, I'm fine. But then, I remember we went to Nebraska to help out with a tour. We were living there for a few weeks. And then I think we wanted to help out some people in Kansas. It would have been Kansas City, Kansas, which of course is basically Kansas City, Missouri, right? And so we drove down. Now, we drove down, and I think it was snowing, if I'm not mistaken. And the news was on in the van. And this was St. Joseph, Missouri. I believe it was St. Joseph, Missouri, birthplace of Eminem, although that's not where Eminem eventually was, and where a good friend of mine is presently right now. Actually, he was my first office mate at Texas Tech. Well, anyway, the news basically said that Bobby Knight was hired by Texas Tech. Now, I got to tell you, man, I couldn't stand Bobby Knight in Indiana, and so I was just elated when he got fired. Next thing I know, this guy's now going to be our coach at Texas Tech. So fast forward, I'm at Texas Tech. I don't know what it is, but I love this guy. Now, I will tell you, his politics are way different from mine, and I definitely didn't support the last guy he endorsed, but that's neither here nor there. Everybody's different in regards to their politics. But I love this guy. I mean, he was telling people off. He was giving people the business. And I was just thinking, this is all right. But man, I could one day see this brother snapping. Because he snapped before. Well, sure enough, in 2004, this hit the headlines. He was, it sounds like the chancellor, who was a medical doctor at the time, but he was the chancellor at the time. At one time, he headed over the Texas Tech Health Sciences, but then he became, the overall chancellor of Texas Tech. He was taking over for Dr. Smidley. Oh, here's another thing. In North Carolina here, the president is actually over the chancellor. The president's system-wide. The chancellor, if you will, is university-wide. In Texas, the chancellor is head system-wise, while the president is head university-wise. So anyway, the chancellor was basically saying that, that Bobby Knight had issues, but he thought he was handling himself well. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe this had just came after, was it a few years after anger management? Double check me on that one. Remember, he was in that. But at any rate, well, Bobby Knight apparently, got a little frazzled by it. He wasn't too happy by it. And so he got upset. Apparently, he started chasing the chancellor around this salad bar. At United Market Street. I believe this would have been the Market Street on 50th and Indiana, if you are indeed in Lubbock. I'm not sure if that's still around because I haven't been in Lubbock in about 10 years. But he chased them around. Started throwing salad at him. Nice little Chris Rock joke, but let's keep it clean. But anyway, so he started chasing the guy around, throwing salad at him. And apparently he went into the parking lot and just went nuts. And started telling him off, and apparently one of the former basketball coaches, but was the athletic director at the time, had to pull him away, from the chancellor. If you ever seen Bobby Knight, Bobby Knight's a good sized fella. I believe he's probably close to 80 now, if not indeed 80. But back then he was a good sized fella. What was he? Probably about 6'3", maybe 6'4", kind of had a polar bear gait, kind of walked around like that. It was an intimidating guy. And of course he had a nasty temper. So you're probably asking, what's the biggest regret that I had, and what's this got to do with? My biggest regret was that I was at that same Market Street United. What is that, about a couple miles away from where I lived in South Overton? I was at that same place eating sushi and drinking Pete's, I believe maybe one of those Pete's Italian sodas. I was at that place the day before. So what I'm really regretting is how come, and had I known this was going to happen, how come I didn't, change, if I'd known, I would have changed plans and, if you will, go, and have gone there, the day, the day after, I mean, I can't think of a better way to enjoy. I can't think of a better way, if you will, to enjoy, your eating your sushi and your seeing some grown man chasing another fella, tossing salad around. Anyway, that was one of my biggest regrets. Of course, I have others, but that's a pretty big one right there. A little sophomore government, but you know what? You would have wanted to, so don't front on the DLB here. But anyway, take care, folks. I hope you're having a beautiful morning. It's just absolutely gorgeous here in Raleigh, North Carolina, and and there ain't no grown man chasing another grown man around here either. But even in the absence of that, it's a wonderful day. So have a wonderful time. Taurus leaves you on the 20th now. May 20th, Taurus is gone, so give the bull the flowers while you can. All right, take care. Bye-bye.